Hi Flosstube, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you are new and finding me for the first time. My name's Lauren. I go by Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. So yeah, welcome or welcome back. I'm really glad to have you with me to go through my January stitching. I do have quite a lot to show you today. First I will do a little bit of life update. So our January has flown by, I just don't know where the time's gone, but it has been a good month. It's been nice, been out and about with the kids quite a lot. It's getting increasingly more difficult to think of things to go and do with them out of the house with the weather getting colder, but we are still managing to get out and get in the fresh air and it's all good. It was my little boy's second birthday in January. We just had a quiet celebration at home for that, nothing too crazy. He only goes to nursery once a week because of COVID and all those kind of things. I didn't join any baby or like mum or parent groups with him when he was very little, so he doesn't really have many little friends, so we didn't do a party as such. We just did like a family little celebration at home, literally me and my other half and his sister, and we just had cake and it was lovely, and grandparents sent presents and things like that, and yeah, we had a nice time, so that was lovely. February coming up is going to be a really busy month for me. It is probably the busiest month of the year for me every year, with loads of family birthdays. It's my mum's birthday, it's my birthday, and it's my granddad's birthday. This year it's going to be his 90th, so a very big one. We are hoping to get over to my mum's and do something special for that, but that will be dependent on my little girl and how she's feeling, because this month she is due to go to hospital and have an operation that's happening quite soon, next week. So yeah, a little bit apprehensive about that, a lot more so than she is, because she's oblivious. I'm very nervous for her, hoping it all goes okay. I did mention it on my Instagram just because it is going to affect the posting out of things from my shop. I am a really small business. I do all my own posting out, all my own packaging up. So I did put a note on there. So some of you, if you follow me on Instagram, will already be aware of that. And loads of people have sent me lovely messages and well wishes for her. So thank you really much for that. That's really lovely. As well as that, this February, just to make the month even more chaotic, we are due some puppies, some babies. So that is really exciting. It's always an exciting time when we have new pups in the house, but it's also really hard work. And yeah, with it being February this time round, it's just adding to what's always a super busy month for us anyway. So not sure how much stitching there will be to show you in Flosstube number 7, but in this one, Flosstube number 6, I have had a really productive January in terms of stitching and can't wait to show you my finish. So I have one finish for the month of January, and it is my jars. So if you have watched all my other Flosstubes, you will know that I have been dragging out the finishing of this, but it is finally done. So this is my memory jars. The pattern is designed by a lady called Susan Bates. It is from a magazine. I always forget which magazine off the top of my head, but as always I will put that in the link, in the links in the comments below. So yes, I have a finished piece. Just go a bit closer so you can see each row a little bit better. So we've got Sleeping Under the Stars, a balloon ride, does it say balloon? Balloon festival, sorry. Relaxing in the garden. It's really hard to read these because I'm looking at them backwards. So we've got like a summer holiday, a day at the beach, a cliff top walk, city nights, let's go fly a kite, and a poppy field walk. And I do just absolutely love this piece. I am super happy that it is now completed. I'm not sure how it's going to be displayed or framed. You will know from all my previous videos that I'm a serial non-finisher in the sense of fully finishing things. I don't fully finish that many things. I stitch because I like to stitch. I am hoping to change that and get more things fully finished in the future, but I think that will be more towards the back end of this year because we are hoping to move house this year. I'm really confident, I think, that is actually going to happen this year because I've been saying it for a couple of years, but finishing our house with the renovations we've been doing has just taken a bit longer than planned, and then, you know, we threw 2 small children into the mix, which slowed everything down. That's fine, and yeah, hopefully it's going to happen this year, but for that reason I don't want to be framing loads of things and having them on the walls or making things into pillows or, you know, making them more bulky to store and transport. So yeah, at the moment my finishes are just getting tucked away, but I'm really hoping that when we move house and we are hopefully in our forever home, that I will actually start to do some finishes on a lot of my finished projects and actually fully finish them, which would be nice. So yeah, Memory Jars by Susan Bates is finished, and this was just stitched on 14 count white Aida, and sorry, yeah, as a last look, so pleased with this. I don't know which is my favourite jar. I really do like the Fly a Kite. I think, yeah, the Fly a Kite jar is probably my favourite. Let me know which is your favourite. That would be interesting to know. So yeah, that is my one finish for January. So that is my single finish for January. I came into January with 11 whips carried over from 2021 in total. Finished that one, which would take me down to 10, but I've had 2 new starts this month, taking me back up to 12. So I have 12 whips as of the end of the month, and in total, out of all my whips, I have worked on 7 pieces in January, including the finish I've just shown you. So I have 6 others to now show you as whips. I am participating in WIPGO this year, WIPGO 2022, and this is my Whipgo board, as you can see. So it's got all the little squares on it. I've got a goal in each square. I'm just going to show you that quickly now because my first 2 whips that I'm going to show you were my called for like Whipgo challenges. If you're not familiar with Whipgo, I will just give a really brief description of what it involves, but you basically have a board like this. You set a goal in each square. That could be a finish, a new start, a certain number of stitches, a certain number of days, anything you like. I've seen people with other goals in there, like goals to FFO objects. I've even seen some people with the goal to, like, their goal is just to buy the stuff and kit up for a certain project. So the goals can be whatever you like them to be, and the idea is that obviously as they get called, you work on them and then you tick them off, and hopefully by the end of the year you will have achieved all your goals, or even if you've not achieved all of them, it will have given you a push and the motivation to maybe finish more than you would have done without it. I am choosing to work on my board in the sense that when things are called, I do want to work on those things within that month and make them my focus for that month, but I do get bored stitching on just 1 or 2 things. I like to switch around, so as you will see was the case with this month, I did focus on my 2 Whipgo whips, but I did also work on other things, and as a result of that, I've achieved one of my goals, which you can see is marked in green because it's been achieved, but my other goal, number 2, I have not finished. I would have easily finished it if I had not done all the other stitching I'm going to show you, but I do get a little bit bored. So the way I'm treating my Whipgo board is as an overall set of goals for the year. I will focus on the ones that have been called in the month they're called, but not at the expense of stitching on absolutely nothing else. So if I stitch on other things and it means I don't get my goal for that month, that's fine, because I'll catch up another month. And like this month, you can see marked in yellow, I have achieved a goal this month that hasn't even been called, just because I really fancied picking up and stitching on that particular project, which was my dragon, which is now marked in yellow on here. So when I have finished that, when it's cord, I've already finished that, and I can literally just make it green straight away, and that will mean that in that month I'll only have one goal from the board that I actually need to work on, so I can maybe catch up on something I've not finished yet. So yeah, I'm just hoping that mine will all even out. But my first one from the Whipgo board is my Bothy teapots. So I will put a picture up of the last time you saw this, and the last time you saw this I had only done the PMT, which was finished, and I'd done like a little bit of the cream background stitching on the Simplicity. And as you can see now, I have finished Simplicity. I have added Oddity as well, and Fruity. And up here I've also made a really good start on the 5th teapot, which is called Calamity, and it's going to be like a broken teapot, which you'll be able to see. I will put up a little image of what the completed version will look like. Side note, that is something that I have not tended to do in previous Flosstubes, and I'm not sure if it was annoying people, because I do notice, like when I watch Flosstubes, most people, they show what they're stitching on, they show what it looked like in their last Flosstube or the last time they showed it, and they also show the finished piece, and I just hadn't been doing that. I kind of feel like when I'm here holding up my stitching and then I show you the finished piece already, it's kind of like an anticlimax, because I would like you to see it when I finished it. But I do think that I am going against the grain there, with most people actually showing a preview of what the pattern will look like finished. So I've decided to give that a go and bow to that convention, because it does seem to be a Flosstube convention that you show the overall finish. And I guess that when you've got less progress on something and you don't have a clue what the pattern is, seeing a few stitches doesn't really give you a good idea of what I'm stitching on. So I suppose that it makes a lot of sense to show that picture. So I'm going to start including those. So my Whipgo goal for this was that I wanted to add 4 teapots. So each of these, this is a Bothy design, it's called Dictionary of Tea, but there is a really large range of these Dictionary of patterns. They're discontinued as kits, but you can still buy them on the Bothy website just as instant PDF downloads, which is what I did, because I had seen these patterns a really long time ago when before my stitching breaks. I didn't stitch anything for the best part of 6 years, and there were patterns that I really liked before my stitching break. I had a couple of them as kits. I think I had the Love one and maybe one other that I did buy when they were still available as kits. And then when I stopped stitching and came back to it, I remembered these patterns and thought, yeah, I really want to stitch those now, and they were discontinued. But I was able to get the PDFs from the Bothy website. So yeah, you can get these too if you like them. So there will be 9, and because I had already started and finished this one, which left 8 pots. So this features on my Whipgo board twice, and for both of those goals I wanted to do 4 teapots, which will mean that if I achieve those goals, all 9 of the pots will be finished, and then there is like a banner that will go at the top here, which isn't on my Whipgo board as a goal, but I'm pretty sure that once I've finished all 9 pots, I will just be really wanting to get the entire thing finished, and there won't be a lot left to do. There'll just be a banner. So I am hoping for a finish on this year. Not sure which my favourite pot is so far. I do still really like the PMT because it's just so colourful and nice, but I like this Fruity as well, which is like the giant strawberry. I think that's quite clever. I was really surprised that I got this far with this, because it was only a matter of maybe 4 days ago or so that I posted saying that I had managed to do this one on my Instagram, and I said I will be happy if I got this one finished. It still had a little bit of stitching and all the back stitching to do at the time, and I said if I managed to finish this part, I will have done 2 squares. It's 50% of my Whipgo goal. I would have been happy with that. And I surprised myself by, in those couple of days, managing to do this entire square and even make a start on this one. So I am 75% of my goal done with these 3 pots, and I am really getting there on the 4th one. So although January is over, I am really keen to just hit that 100% of my goal on this piece, and I will definitely be finishing this one in January. I'll probably do a little bit of work on that later today, because I just really want to tick that off my board. So yeah, Bothy Threads, Dictionary of Tea, available as a PDF download on their website, and I am stitching this on 14 count with the recommended DMC colours from the PDF, so like all the cord 4 DMCs, although all the original kits are kitted or were kitted with Madeira threads. So like the Love one that I've got that came as a kit, they never gave you thread codes. Obviously now that they're only selling them as PDFs, they have converted like the original colours used to DMC, and they actually give you options for Madeira, Anchor and DMC thread. So I picked DMC, and yes, happy with my progress on that. My second WIPGO goal, number 19, was my Happy Winter Elephant. As usual, this is quite difficult to show you. It is a lot of grey on grey, but looking at this compared to the photo of my previous progress on it, I hope that you can see there's a big difference. So yeah, I have done quite a lot on this. So that is the elephant's bum, if you can make it out, like sitting down on snow. And down here at the bottom, like the creamy bit, is the start of one of the little rabbits. This goal was to stitch 5,000 stitches on this project, which I did. Really happy to have got that many put into it, and this is not difficult to stitch on. It's an easy stitch. It is an easy stitch. I've got it on Pattern Keeper, which helps massively, but it is just so much grey on grey, so much grey. And yeah, that is a little bit of a challenge when you're trying to put 5,000 stitches into something. It did at some point start to drag for me, and if I hadn't been doing Whipgo, I probably would not have carried on. I would have put it down and switched to something else. So yeah, Whipgo definitely helped me get 5,000 stitches into this for this month. I do have to say, so I finished my 5,000 stitches on that piece, and then I was chatting to my friend Sarah, who's Cross Stitch Mad Sarah on Instagram, and I said to her, I finished my 5,000 stitches, I've ticked it off my board. I'm so glad it's done. Like, I hope it doesn't get called again now for a few months, because it's on my board twice, and the second goal is for another 5,000 stitches, and of course it got called for February. So yes, I have to do another 5,000 stitches on this in February if I want to keep up with that goal on Whipgo. I'm not sure that that is going to happen. Like, it's a lot of grey, it's heavy going, and I was hoping for a little break from it, not because it's not a lovely design, but just because it's not the most exciting once you've done that much grey for that long. I feel like stitching something more colourful, which last month did work well with having the Dictionary of Tea on the go at the same time, but for this month that was one of my Whipgo calls, and the other is my full coverage Heaven and Earth, which again isn't really the kind of piece, like I'm probably just going to be working on like very similar colours in the section that I'm on and not really seeing anything jump out at me, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that, and I have a feeling that I'm going to end up stitching on a lot of other things in between. So since I was just talking about it, I guess that I will show you my Heaven and Earth design piece next. So this is a new start, and it's a very tiny start. This is my start on my Heaven and Earth design. Camera's not enjoying this too much, but yes, this is my very tiny start on my Eventide. I'm doing this on Pattern Keeper. The pattern, as you can see, is a really nice geisha with dolphins. I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I've wanted to stitch this for a really long time. I'm so glad that I have Pattern Keeper because it is making it easier. I am doing this on 25 count white Laguna. There's no point me keep holding this up, there's really not a lot to see. I have just started in the top corner. Yeah, it's on 25 count and I'm doing 1/1 on the 25 count, which is not something I've done before. I've never stitched a full coverage before, and I've never stitched anything 1/1 on such a small count. I'm finding it okay so far. It took me like a little bit to get used to it, and like I said, it's a really tiny start. I've only done like an hour and a half on this, and I was working quite slowly. Obviously it's more difficult to see, the holes are tiny and you're not going over 2, you're going over 1. So yeah, this is a learning curve for me. This, like I said, has been called for my February WIPGO, and when I set the goals, I put this on my WIPGO board 4 times, and I wanted to do I wanted to get 10% of this done by the end of the year. So I worked out what 10% stitches would be, and then I divided that by 4 to put it on my board as 4 separate goals, and that was 5,520 stitches for 2.5%. So yes, February goal, I need to put 5,520 stitches into this, along with 5,000 stitches on my elephant. So they're really big stitch goals for this particular month. You know, I have a lot of smaller goals or easier goals on my chart, but it just so happens that I've had 2 really intense ones called within the same month, which I knew could happen. It has happened. I'm not sure that I will achieve it. I could achieve it, like if I stitched on absolutely no other projects, I could definitely get that done this month. But I also want to enjoy my stitching, like I said, and I just think I would be in danger of getting bored. So I hope to make at least decent progress on both of those pieces, but in no way am I expecting to necessarily hit those numbers this month. My second new start for this month I am really excited about. So I have started a Mirabilia lady. Now I am stitching this as part of Chris Cross Stitch's Sal, which he is hosting and has named First Mirabilia Sal. So it is a stitch along where if you've not stitched a Mirabilia design before, then you can just join in by hashtagging your like Instagram posts and progress posts with that tag, and I'm quite enjoying it. I'm enjoying like looking like I think I'm following the tag, or I'm like checking on the tag and seeing all the other people stitching on their first one. Now technically you will have seen me start a Mirabilia previously, it was quite a few videos back, so technically this is not the first Mirabilia pattern that I've ever put a stitch into, but I do consider it to be my first one because the very first one that I ever started several months ago was the Baker's Wife, and it's not what I would consider to be like one of the classic Mirabilia ladies. Like when I think of the Mirabilia ladies, like the big fancy ladies, I think of the big ladies where it is like the full body, either the mermaids or the fairies or just the ladies in the beautiful dresses, and it is a full body stitch, so from head to toes with their big dresses on, all the massively fancy intricate beading, and they're all really beautiful. And the first one that I ever started, the Baker's Wife, isn't like that. It is like a portrait style, which is a bit different than what she usually does. It's about half the size of the normal ones because you're just not stitching all of that body. It is just like from the chest up, and it's got like a frame around it, and I love it. It's a really pretty design, and I am by no means giving up on it. I absolutely will be stitching it, but I had put very few stitches into it. I'd done a couple of hours on it at most, and then I put it down. I'd not touched it because Christmas came and I wanted to do seasonal stitching and all that, and then I just for the moment didn't feel like picking it back up, and I kind of Felt like I'm going on one of the not only but also Mirabilia retreats. That's in April of this year, and I just really wanted my first Mirabilia to be, like I said, what I think of when I think of that. What pops into my head is the really big fancy ladies. So I've decided to indefinitely shelve my baker's wife whip, and this is my Mirabilia New Start. I am considering this to be my first Mirabilia because this is the one that I am focused on. It is the one that I am definitely going to finish before any other Mirabilia because I have it on my Whipgo board. I'm going to be working on it. So this is my start. I have really been enjoying doing this. This is my first time stitching on linen. This is a hand dyed Belfast 32 count. It's got like pinks and like this is like a greeny grey. It's really pretty. And I bought this. This is haul for this month, I guess. My mum just said to me to pick something stitchy that I would like to have, and there was a lady on eBay selling off a lot of Mirabilias, like fully kitted. So they had all the speciality threads, all the beads, everything. Some of them had fabric, some of them didn't, and this one did. So I bought this with the fabric and I liked the fabric, so I decided to give the linen a go, and so far so good. I'll just give you another look at that. So I've started at the centre. I've started with working on her dress, which is all like the white and yellow and gold, and then the little bit of pink and green in there is some of the flower detail on that dress. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It did take me a little, like a couple of hours to get used to stitching on the linen, but I'm really liking it. I'm really enjoying it. Yes. Also really enjoying these fabric tensioners, which are amazing and a game changer. My other half made these for me at the end of December. Yeah, he made these for me last month. Like we bought all the bits to make them and he put them together for me, and they are absolutely wonderful. I really do love them. They just keep everything like so tight. You can hear that like when I'm tapping on it. It's like as tight as a drum, so to speak. It's lovely because I do like working on these scroll frames, but I do always find that obviously the tension is good top and bottom, but at the sides there is nothing there. And it was Cross Stitch Mad Sarah that recommended thread tensioners to me. I went and had a look online and I could only find people selling them on Etsy that were like international sellers. Like I couldn't find anyone in the UK selling them, and if I was going to be ordering them internationally, and it was December, it was near to Christmas time, like Christmas New Year sort of time, and the delivery estimate was already a couple of weeks, I thought if anything it's going to be slower. So did a bit of research, bought the stuff, and yeah, my other half made these for me. Also like bought quite a lot of the materials, and I do love them. They're working really well, and I am going to make up a few sets of them, or rather he is going to make up a few sets of them to add to my website. So if any of you are in the UK and are after some of these, I will be stocking them soon, just on like a trial basis. We will make some sets with the materials that we still have left, and yeah, see if anyone likes them, and if they do, I may stock them going forward, or like expand in colour ranges. But yeah, for now I just, you know, wanted a set for myself, and I am so happy with them. They're great. So yes, new start, first Mirabilia Sal. I'm very excited to continue with this. It is on my Whipgo board, like I had on there that I wanted to start a Mirabilia. Have I even told you which one this is? I'm not sure. I've popped the picture up, but I don't know if I named her. So this is Ella, the Frog Princess. I'm really sorry if I didn't already say that. I love her, like she's holding the cute little frog, and just think she's really sweet. There is quite a lot of beading on her, but there's no like treasures or like odd shaped beads. They're all just like the tiny glass seed beads, and There's also a very limited amount of specialty threads in her, so there's no Caron water lilies or anything like that. She's all DMC, and the only specialty thread that it does use is the Krennic, and it's only a really small amount. I think it's only in the crown that the frog's wearing. I'm not spotted that in any other part of the design. So yeah, she's probably quite straightforward as far as the fancy ladies go, which is nice because she's my first one. Not sure what I'm going to do with her skin yet. I'm debating over whether I'm going to stitch it just 2/1 like the rest, or whether I'm going to go 1/1 for the skin. I've not decided. Let me know what you think. If you have stitched a Mirabilia before and done the 1/1 or not, like let me know your thoughts on that, because I'm really conflicted. I do have plenty of dress on her to get on with, so I'm not in a massive rush to decide. So I'm going to try and I think finish all the bottom of the skirt, and then I will move up afterwards. So I'm not in a huge rush to have to make a decision, but I do need to make one, so some help would be useful. So yes, she is my first Mirabilia. That is what I am calling her. That is what she's going to be known as. Discounting my other one for now because she will definitely be the one that I have finished first, and she's the only one that I've ever put significant time into. I did a really small amount of stitching on my other one before I stopped. So she will be my first fancy lady. Looking forward to making some really good progress on her at the retreat later this year. If any of you guys are going to that retreat, let me know, send me a message or something. It would be really nice to maybe have a chat and say hello to a few other people that are going before the event actually comes round. It's going to be my first retreat. I'm excited about it, but also a little bit nervous. I'm not going to know anyone. So yeah, if any of you are going, it'd be really nice to know. Next, I am going to show you my Wise Old Owl. So this is a kit from the Historical Sampler Company. This is what it will look like finished. I've remembered to put that in. This is what it will look like finished. This is where I was last time with it, and this is where I am now. So I've made some good progress on this, and some extra stitching has gone into that. This is not on my Whipgo board at all, but I still think that I will have it finished this year because it's just, I've said it before, it's a really easy stitch, sort of mindless as far as cross stitch goes. Like the counting is very simple, the design is very easy, just flows really nicely. Like especially doing the border, you can just do it without thinking, like without referring to the pattern. So this is something that I like to pick up if I'm maybe a bit overwhelmed with another project, or I'm tired and I don't want to concentrate too much but I still want to stitch. This is perfect for that. And so as you can see, I've picked it up a couple of times this month when I've just wanted to do a little bit of easy stitching, and I've made some good progress. So yeah, not on my Whipgo, but I would be surprised if this isn't finished at some point this year. This is on 14 count on like a beigey cream, like dark cream or pale beige Aida that came with the kit, and I am enjoying this a lot. That's a quick one. And then I have my dragon. This is my dragon koi. This is what it's going to look like. So it doesn't feel natural yet. I'm having to like make sure to remember to include that. So this is what it will look like, and it is a big design. I think it's like 204 stitches by 204 stitches, like in a round design, and it's not a full coverage piece, but it kind of like, it almost is, as in like the majority of the circle itself is stitched. There's not too much open space in it. There is a little, so you know, it isn't a true full coverage, but it kind of feels like one, if that makes any sense. Like there isn't much open or negative space. There isn't a lot of negative space on that. So here I am with my progress now compared to where I was last time. Again, I should have remembered to bring a board to hold this against, because you just see right through that black fabric when I'm trying to show you. I'm sorry. But yes, it is starting to look more dragon-like, I feel. So I've got this top wing, and at the very top here in all the half stitch is just like background and foliage, and that will be like transformed into leaves and branches when I actually add the back stitch. And like this yellow bit here is a fish, There are quite a lot of fish in here, like it's a koi dragon. There's a lot of koi swimming around the dragon. And then I've done, like I've got the second wing, and then all this bit at the bottom I've added in. So I have done exactly 2,500 stitches on this month. I was tracking it on Pattern Keeper, which is how I know. And this is on my Whipgo board for 2,500 stitches, which is why I stopped at that point, because it was a good stopping point. That allowed me to cross off that goal, as you saw before, even though it's not yet done. So it's yellow at the moment, and as soon as this gets called, I've already done it. So that's great. Yeah. Love the colours in this, which I say every time I show you, it's just so beautiful. I'm going to attempt again to give you the designer's name. So this is a pattern by PatternNadGavR. She has an Etsy shop, which I will link below. Her designs are also available on some of the other like Russian websites that sell patterns from multiple designers. I'm pretty sure I had a little scroll and a browse on my bobbin at some point this month, and I'm sure that I saw a couple of her other dragon designs on there. But yeah, obviously she has her own website, so that's probably the best place to find her full range of patterns. She does a lot of dragons. That is all the whips that I have put stitching into for this month. So next is haul. So haul. I should not have anything to show you for this section. There should not be any haul in 2022, or there should be a very small amount of haul, because I did mention to you in my last video, I am trying to stitch from stash this year. Now, being that we are only just finished up with January, I feel honestly like I have failed absolutely miserably with this goal. I have and I haven't. I treated myself to a few bits for Christmas, but they arrived really late. I wasn't able to show them to you in my last video. So like I mentioned, my mum let me treat myself to a few stitchy bits, but it was easier for me to pick out what I wanted, and I picked out some Mirabilia stuff that was either kitted, or it was like bags with like all the threads and the beads and the treasures and things like that, not necessarily the fabric, and I bought several of those. I've not got them all here to show you, because other than Ella, who I picked out to stitch first, like all of those other ones have just gone straight into storage in like my little chest thing, and it was a bit too much bother to pull them all out, literally just to show you bags of threads and stuff. So I got some Mirabilia bits. They were a great price, like too much of an opportunity to miss out on, like being that I do want to stitch quite a few Mirabilias going forward. It just made sense to buy them at that time while the opportunity was there. It would cost me a lot more to kit them up in the future. So I did buy those, but like I said, they were kind of like a treat, so I picked what I wanted, but the funds were donated. So yeah, I'm including them on my Stitch from Stash spend tracker, just because I genuinely want to know by the end of the year like how much overall I have spent on stitching supplies. So they are on there, but it's a little bit of a funny one with it sort of being a gift, but I was given the money and ultimately I could have chosen to spend it on something else. So chose to spend it on stitching, so I've included it. And the only other things that I've got to show you, I could not resist these. So these are 3 little kits. I think they're all Luca S. So this is like Christmas Robins, and that is a pillow kit. This one is Christmas Owls, which is not a pillow, that's just like a normal kit. And this one is like a mother and foal, and that's another Luca S cushion kit, and this like matches like the series of baby animals that Luca S do. So there's the swans, the foxes. Is there any more? Polar bears. So yes, there's the swans, there's the foxes, there's the polar bears, and there is the horse and foal, which I now have. Not aware of any other mother and baby designs by them. I think there is a lion, but I'm not too keen on that one. So yeah, actually I think there is one more, a lion and cub, but it's not one that I think I would want to stitch. So for me, like, I think these are all the the baby animal ones from there that I know of that I really like and want to stitch. So I bought those from Hobby Jobby, who I've mentioned before. They're a UK website, not to be confused with Hobby Lobby. So hobbyjobby.co.uk. They do have a nice selection of kits on there, and I just happened to see just before the new year that they were having a huge sale on. Like, a lot of their prices are quite competitive anyway to begin with, like on some kits, and there was further discounts of, I think it was 30 or 35%. They had like a really big sale, and that just made those like really, really well priced. So I did grab them. Again, I've had to add those to my Stitch from Stash tracker, because the way that the Stitch from Stash challenge works is not that you are banned from spending completely. I think the idea is to make you more mindful of what you're spending and track it, and also award yourself with like extra budget when you actually finish things, which I think is a great concept. I think if I said to myself I'm just not going to buy anything for an entire year, like I wouldn't be able to do that, and then you just setting yourself up to fail, and I'd feel really bad about it and really guilty. But I do like this concept, because although the budget that I have set for myself is £5 a month, so if I have no finishers and nothing at all like that whatsoever, I would have £5 a month that will just tally up. So over the course of the full year, that would give me a grand total of £60 to spend on stitching supplies. But you, like I said, you can earn money by doing finishers, and kind of like, nobody's giving you that money. It's not a prize, it's not a gift, so it's still ultimately up to each individual how much they actually want to spend. But I think, you know, a lot of us have a tendency to overbuy and like stash a lot of stuff. So for me, and I think a lot of other people doing it, like there is a Facebook group for it, just does make you a little bit more mindful about your spending. And I know for me personally, like my goal is going to be to like break even at the end of the year, in terms of, you know, I'm already overspent. I had a £5 budget and I've got 3 kits and a bunch of Mirabilias kitted up from that eBay auction. Like, so I'm in the hole. I am in the hole with the spending, but for every finish you can earn money. So for my jars finish, that is worth £20, that finish, and there is a specific calculation online, so I've not like just made that up. Like, there is an actual process for calculating how much each finish is worth, which is based on its size, and then also based on whether you've had any speciality threads that you've had to use in it, whether you've had any beading that you've had to use in it, whether there's any speciality stitches in it that are not cross stitch. Yeah, so far I've earned £20 back. I'm not going to put up my figures for how much I have spent, because I just think, you know, for everyone, like how much you're spending on anything overall is just like a personal thing, like expenditure is a personal thing. But yeah, I'm hoping to break even by the end of the year. I would like to be back at zero, and I do think that that is like easily achievable if I finish enough stuff. I'm hoping that yes, I will have earned what I've spent and hopefully reduced my stash quite a bit. We will see. So February plans, I guess I've already kind of covered, because I'm doing Whipgo. So my plan is obviously to continue with that and work on the 2 pieces that have been cord. So that is my elephant happy winter piece and my Heaven and Earth design Eventide geisha. Those are the things that I'm gonna kind of try and focus on. But like I said, February is going to be mad busy. There are, you know, 3 family birthdays. My little girl's operation is obviously the huge one this month, and everything that happens this month is really going to depend on her. Her operation is on the 7th, so there's not too many days to wait for that. We are going to be isolating from 3 days beforehand is the requirement. So from Friday of this week, we will be isolating. We have to do like a PCR test by courier that day. So the courier, like actually comes, whichever courier, the hospital, like they must use someone for this service, but someone's actually going to come and bring us the tests, and we have to do them there and then, put them back in the box, give them back to the courier, and then from that moment when we've taken the test, obviously we have to hope that the result is negative. You know, all of us are fine and well, like none of us are ill, but you know, people can be asymptomatic, so we just have to hope that our tests are negative, because of course if they're not, her operation will be cancelled. But all being well, those test results will be negative, and then we will isolate until the Friday. Then I will take her to hospital. I am allowed to go in with her, which is great. Obviously she's a minor, it would just be unthinkable for her to go in without me, so I'll be there. I'll be able to be there with her until the point where like she drifts off and they've put her to sleep, and then I will just have to go and wait, I don't know, in her room or in the ward or something. Like I'm allowed to stay there and wait, as far as I've been told. They'll wait for her to come out. I'm not sure how long she's going to be under for. They've not told me that or given me any indication, but yeah, I will be there and hopefully all will be well. I will take my stitching with me because I think I'm going to be super nervous, and it might just give me something to do with my hands and something to concentrate on rather than sitting there and staring at a wall. So yeah, that is the main thing for February, and everything else is just going to be revolving around that. You know, she's going to be recovering. So times when, you know, I might usually be able to squeeze a little bit of stitching in, I doubt that I will be doing. Like she's going to need a lot of extra love, cuddles, looking after, needs to be fending off her brother so that he's not like trying to climb all over her and love on her too much, but you know, he might accidentally hurt her. So yeah, I don't think February is going to be a massive stitching month for me. Hopefully I will have a little bit to show you at the end of the month, but it's not going to be huge. And what we do for all those family birthdays this month, again, will just depend on how my little girl is recovering and how she's doing. Because, you know, if there's any complications or if she's just, you know, taking a while to get back on her feet and things, then, you know, we won't be travelling for my granddad's 90th, which will be a shame. Like, hopefully that will happen. You know, my birthday probably won't do much to celebrate. Like, it will all depend on her. So we'll see. Yeah, so that is it. The only other thing that I would mention is that I am hoping to increase the frequency of my Flosstube videos to bi-weekly. So instead of doing one a month at the end of the month, I would really like to do them like every 2 weeks. And I think that's just because with leaving it till the end of the month, and I do usually get a decent amount of stitching done, it does take quite a long time to sit down and do like one larger video at the end of each month. It takes quite a lot of time for me to find everything and then to film it and then to edit it. And also, like, if my videos end up being, like I say, like over half an hour, don't know how people feel about it, but I sometimes feel like, you know, like around the half an hour mark to maybe 45 minutes is a nice length. Like, people, you know, have time to sit down and watch it. I don't know, maybe I'm like completely off base and wrong. I know that Flosstube videos like vary in length. Everyone does them like completely different lengths. Some are, you know, 15 minutes, some can be a couple of hours, but I don't know, I just feel that maybe it would be better if I broke mine down into like maybe 2 slightly shorter videos to keep them like at half an hour or maybe a little under if I can, rather than have them like 40 minutes creep into an hour. I don't know. Let me know what you think, but yeah, I just thought I might try that. And that also, if I'm doing 2 videos a month rather than everything just purely being about my stitchy progress, I thought it would be quite nice to include some other things that I would like to do in those videos. So maybe like some reviews and things of certain things that I've been using. Do you want to review my Lowry stand at some point? Because I have got quite a few hours under my belt of using that. I've got some other things that I would like to give feedback on, like you know, certain products or stands or things I've been using. And it would also be quite nice to be able to maybe at least for this year, have one video that concentrates like maybe more on my Whipgo goals, and then my other one like more general. I don't know, but we'll see. And let me know if you think that bi-weekly videos are a good idea or not. Thank you for tuning in, as it were, and spending a little bit of time with me, letting me share my stitching with you. It is something that I'm really enjoying doing. Like I said, this is Flosstube number 6 now, and my videos have been once monthly, so 6 months of floss tubing, and I got over 800 subscribers, which is amazing. I was not expecting that when I first started the channel. Like, I'm not sure what I was expecting when I first started the channel. I didn't really have any expectations, other than at first I thought like maybe only my mum would be watching, but yeah, so I've been surprised by the response, and it's really lovely. It's really nice. I mentioned it before, I don't really have any, well, not many people in my real life that stitch or appreciate stitching or enjoy it or really care to hear about it. So it's really lovely to be able to come on here and like show off a bit of what I'm doing, and you know, watch a lot of Flosstube as well. It's really nice to feel like part of that community, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I hope that you're enjoying my videos as well, and if you are, you know, I would really love to hit that 1,000 this year. That would be absolutely amazing. So if you've not subscribed yet, it only takes a second. Like, if you would like to tap that little button and help me out with reaching that goal, that would be amazing. Give this video a like and give me some feedback, especially if you have stitched Mirabilias in the past, like about that skin issue of, do I go 2/1 or 1/1? Like, please weigh in on that and let me know your thoughts, because it is a decision that I am struggling with and I would like some help. And yes, I will hopefully see you all at the end of February. If for some reason I don't have a video that goes up at the end of Feb or like very early March, it might just be because I'm super busy and overwhelmed with everything that we know that we have got coming this month. Like, on top of everything, like I said, there's going to be puppies in the house as well, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of our new puppy arrivals. Possibly my next video or the one after might have some very cute puppy spam to share with you as well as stitching, but we'll see. Like, I'm hoping and have everything crossed for a safe delivery. That's also always a worrying and anxious time. Like, we have a fair amount of experience between us. We look after our girls really well. They are, you know, fully supervised, like slept with overnight and supervised all day in the run up to knowing that we're going to have a delivery. And for the couple of weeks after, one of us, usually my other half, will sleep with mums and pups. Like, he sets up his fishing camp bed in the dining room or the kitchen or the living room or wherever they are, and sleeps with them. So that's very fun for him, very comfortable, but yeah, it's important. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back at the end of the month, but if I'm not, I have not disappeared, and I'm probably just really busy, and I will put out my next video as soon as I possibly am able to, and yeah, as close to that end of the month as I can. I hope you all take care, have a wonderful February. I hope it's slightly less chaotic than mine, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.